Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm Chucky2009, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of redneck cast iron repair on this really beat up Chaz Parker vise. So a little bit of background. A couple towns over from where I live, there's a place that sells salvage steel, and they also buy scrap metal, so it's one of those deals. And I was there a little while back, and I saw this broken in half, dejected looking Chaz Parker vise sitting underneath a rundown shed-like thing, and long story short, $20 later, here we are. I realized just by looking at it, it appears to be about $19 too much, but if we can weld this back together, it'll be a pretty good investment. So the thing is, like any other old vise, this is probably cast iron. I spark tested this, and I spark tested my table here, which I know is regular mild steel, just for comparison. And the sparks off the vise were only about half as long as the string that came off the table, and they were a little bit darker in color. So whatever it is, we're going to attempt to weld with 7018. Why? Because regular cast iron welding electrodes, those nickel rods, they're very expensive, and I'm very cheap. It's like if you have an old beater farm truck that needs a $1,000 repair, but it's a $500 pickup. I mean, what are you going to do? So we're just going to weld this with 7018 and hope for the best. If it doesn't work, oh well, and if it does, cool. Yeah, so let's take a closer look at this thing. The Chaz Parker Company, Meridian, Connecticut, USA. Patented 1930. I guess that's a model number, you know, 974. Yeah, so this thing, man, if it could talk, it could probably tell some cool stories, but it's obviously lived a hard life. We have this going on, and up in here we're missing part of one of the jaws. But anyway, I guess pretty much all we can do is try and free this thing because it's rusted in here solid, and who knows how many years it's been since it last moved. Okay, so everything seems to be going pretty well, YouTube. I guess the next thing I got to do is grind some bevels on this thing and remove the rust immediately right next to where we're going to be welding. Alright, so I got it tack welded, and to be honest, even the tack welding of that part sucked. I mean, as I was trying to weld it, the base metal was like fizzling all around it. You know how if you ever turn on a MIG welder without your gas and you're trying to weld, and it just kind of fizzles? That's what it reminded me of. But nonetheless, I got 6 good tack welds on that thing, 3 down each side. Then I peened the crap out of them with my slag chipping hammer here. And I understand that you're supposed to peen this stuff after every little weld you do, because that helps alleviate stress. It kind of, as you hammer on the weld kind of separates a little bit, goes with the base metal, goes the way the base metal wants to pull it. I think. I really don't know what I'm doing here, to be honest. Why do I even think this will work whatsoever? 2 reasons. First off, because a buddy of mine, Phil, he grew up on a farm, and I was talking about welding cast iron one day, and he's like, yeah, well, we always just used to just weld it with 7018, and it always held. And I was like, alright, sure. But the main reason is that back when I was taking welding classes at my high school, our old teacher gave us an old handout that was from like the 1960s or something about 7018 before we learned to run it. You know, we studied it in the classroom, and it said on there one of the uses of this electrode was welding certain grades and certain kinds of cast iron, and ever since that day I've wanted to try it, so that's what we're gonna do. Basically, the plan is for me to clean off all my stuff on this bench here. By the way, I got to try out these this new cobalt socket set. It worked great. So yeah, right, and I've got this galvanized bucket here with some play sand. I'm gonna weld it, dump it in there, dump the rest of this bag of sand in on top of it. No, it wasn't full when I started, it's pretty empty now. So yeah, let's go check on the grill and see how it's doing. So as you can see, I've got both burners cranking on full blast here. And if we look up at this thermostat thing, looks like we're at about 500 degrees. I don't know how hot the part is. I should really get one of those little infrared thermometers, but I don't have one of those, so I don't know how hot it is. But yeah, doesn't seem to be cracking yet. I think just for the heck of it, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes before I take it into the shop and weld it. It's on YouTube! Oh, alright, weld it. Still hot. Something's burning. Oh wait, that's just grease. We're okay. I got it welded, I hope. I tried. You know, I did my best to spread the heat out. I'd jump around, I'd weld on this side, then like the other side over here. I peened the crap out of it, and now we just have to hope for the best. I mean, to be honest, that was probably the worst welding material I've ever welded in my life. It was all fizzly. It just, in general, ran like crap. But we'll know when it cools, so, you know, cross your fingers. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Chucky 2009. Shortly after midnight, I just got home from school. So, of course, the very first thing I did is I wandered out here to the garage to check on the questionable 7018 welds I did. I guess it was yesterday now on this vise. I pulled it out, they cooled, and these are some really ugly welds, but like I said, this thing welded like crap. And then you can see I hammered the crap out of them with my slag chipping hammer here. So, you know, it's not split in half, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's always a good thing. And it's totally cold to the touch, as I'm sure, you know, you can probably assume. Okay, alright, here we go. I'm just gonna... I hope this thing does not break. I'm leaning into it as much as I can. Keep in mind, I don't really have the ass required to do this. Alright, you know what? We'll do what it wants to do. I'm going to lay it down like this and keep on twisting. So far, so good. Cheater bar time. I hear cats. I don't know how much more I can get this to turn. Oh, shit. Well, I'd like to say I'm pleasantly surprised, but I kind of hope that would happen, so I don't know what to say. Other than I'm pretty freaking happy right now. Yeehaw! I've been wanting to try this redneck technique pretty much ever since I heard about it my junior year of high school, which actually wasn't that long ago. But regardless, this thing appears to have held. I know that I'm not a person who generally uses a vise to squeeze things or press things or whatever, and if it will hold up to me doing what I just did to it, that's more than I'll ever ask of it, you know, when I'm actually using it under normal circumstances. So, oh crap, I have to get it back apart now. I did not think this out very well. No, wait, we're turning now. Alright. That wasn't so bad. Alright, it's not going to come back apart until I set up right. Here's my scrap metal. And here is the new vise of awesomeness. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And I don't mean this to be like a how-to, this will fix any cast iron problem you have. All I'm saying is it is possible. I don't know about your specific situation. A lot of it comes down to the cast that you're working on. This is an old American-made vise. Everyone says these are high-grade castings. I don't know because I'm clueless here. So it can be done. Do it at your own risk. And good luck. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more.